Here we go. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to On the Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden. We're here with Big O, Coach Jay, and the coach, Evan Hearn. Appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us today. We've got a show, of course, for you guys. We're going to go over a lot of things. But let's start with our awards and recognition, like always. First thing is, and Coach Jay brought this up about recognizing Jalen Bristow. She played, I know you said 21 minutes, but I looked it up. It was 27 minutes. Yeah. 3 for 3 on field goals, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block against the number 1 seed, or number 2 seed, Stanford.
At their house.
Yeah.
And lost an overtime thriller.
It was a good one.
Yeah, she played good.
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. A little girl, not to say little girl, she's 6'2", but a girl who this time last year was finishing up, winning the state championship just right down the road.
Won our own.
And now she's big time in the national tournament.
In a time where everybody's kind of against freshmen even playing or getting scholarships, that's for her to be a contributor already and just getting her feet wet, getting the door to play. I don't care. Stats don't show up all the time, but you play 27 minutes. The coach expects something out of you,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's just big, being on the floor as a freshman in the national tournament. And I like the girls setting because they play the first 2 rounds at the higher seeds facility. So that thing was rocking for.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds of girls there's at the higher seeds
instead of the
So
neutral area.
Whoever's the number 1 seeds coming in, they'll host. They'll get to host the game. So.
Okay.
To fill the venue.
Yeah, actually.
Well, it's not even number 1s. It's just the higher seeds in the 2.
I actually watched a little bit of the game today. Someone at work, Megan, had it on her little laptop, and I was watching. I was like, and she was in there. I mean, just doing her thing. Yeah. And then she's got that one teammate that she scored like 40 in the first round.
Yeah.
So she a monster.
And that to me is like the biggest thing, like Jay touched on earlier, is stats may not always tell the story. To me, the biggest thing was the 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think I tuned in maybe late third quarter, middle third to the end of the game. And she was in there from that time all the way through. And I think it went in overtime. So it was a hell of a game. And like you said, that's just going to help her grow and next year as a sophomore.
She's going to be good.
And that team is 5. They call them the Fab Five too. Those freshmen. So they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, just like I said, again, from right down the road last year to
a little bit on that. I would like to. We got to kind of start preparing kids for that. That here's a girl from our city, averaging probably I think she has every Wichita Falls ISD scoring record. Yeah. Like for her to be humble enough and her to be aware of her surroundings enough to be like, hey, I don't care. I want to play. Yeah. Like I want to play. Like she scored the ball on every level, and she probably could if that was her role right now. But she accepted her role and said, hey, I'm gonna go do whatever my coach wants me to do for I can stay on this floor.
Yeah, being patient. She knows her time's gonna come, and it will. I mean, she's phenomenal. And man, how awesome would it be to have her on the show?
Yeah, that's something that I was thinking about. Man, we have a lot of kids are doing great in college right now that, we would love to have them on our show at some point because it's just, they're paving the way for the next. What she's doing at Iowa State right now is preparing the way for the girls that are here now balling because, once a school get a gym from an area, they always go back because they feel like that talent is there.
That is breeds in the culture. Once we have a few of those show up and man, where's Wichita Falls? They're breeding some people, and then they trust us. They trust the area to come back. Like, hey, we know what's down there. We're gonna go back and get us another one. So I feel like us, especially our new media platform, is making those a big deal. Making whoever's in college and doing big things a big deal, so these kids can feel like it's possible. I see a lot of those pro camps and all that stuff. It means a world for a kid to rub shoulders with somebody that's actually doing it. You can only imagine what that does for these kids to see, hey, Bristow was just playing at Ryder or Holiday and all this stuff. Man, it's possible. I can play on TV
Yep.
Like, she's doing it. It's possible.
Yeah, and man, we'll definitely make a push to try to get her in some way,
Even
back
if it's
here.
a video call or something.
Yeah, and moving on to more awards and recognition. I mean, we have something we didn't get a real good chance to cover, but man, there was a lot of athletes locally that just was at state, ripped through the regional tournaments, all that. I mean, we had a lot of these kids in powerlifting finish in some pretty good positions in the state tournament, or, in state.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'll let Coach Evan talk about Natasha, but we had Casey Green, Iowa Park, finished third. We had the Steinberger kid, Wyatt and Winthorst. He was a state champ. And then you want to touch a little bit on Natasha Cruz from Ryder?
Yeah,
State champ.
State champ. First one in Ryder history. Talked to her coach, Coach Davison. And before I give her flowers, I'll talk to her about the other girls. Ryder also had 3 other girls competing at state. Ashley Anderson, she went for the 2nd year in a row. And Leah Sanchez, she went and she finished 5th this year. But now going to Natasha, this was her 3rd year in powerlifting. When I came 4 years ago, she was a freshman. She did 2 years of basketball, so that's where I got to know her from. But as a sophomore, she finished 4th. She didn't place as a junior, from what I understand. But she lifted in the 220-pound weight class at state. This year she squatted 470 pounds. She benched 270 pounds, which both of those are WFISD records.
Wow.
By any girl, regardless of weight class or anything like that. And she deadlifted 405. So
that's awesome.
You got your calculators out. That's a total of 1,145 pounds. She owns not just the Ryder records, but also the WFISD records in squat at 480. And like I said, bench press in 270. And obviously
that's
total
amazing.
weight. So kudos to all, not just Natasha, but Ashley and also Leah and everybody else who competed this year at the state powerlifting tournament.
I wanted to, because powerlifting was a thing that I enjoyed doing. I wanted to say, I want to give kudos to this area as a whole. The reason I say that is because they do something unique here that they don't do anywhere else, which they hold area powerlifting meets, meaning that 1 week Ryder might hold the girls' meet, the next week City View might hold, and all the schools go to that. But that's a testament for all these kids across our area that are making it to state. That lets you know how well competitive hosting area meets. They're making it where you don't have to travel that far. Because when I was in school, we were traveling. I remember one time we traveled from Fort Worth to Iowa Park to a powerlifting meet. We would go to Stephenville. We would go to different areas. But now they've created a culture around here where everybody, Burke, City View, Holiday, Henrietta, all these schools, Ryder, Ojai, they're all competing together, getting each other ready to go compete at the regional level, to go compete at the state level, but it all starts at home. So that's a testament to this community of what we've done for our kids in this community to build a competitive powerlifting where it's safe. You don't have to travel that much, but it goes to show that we have some pretty strong kids that are competing on a statewide level. So that's good.
Yeah, and that's got to be something that the local coaches have put together or something, in years past to do that. So that's pretty awesome. Real quick, we do want to be able to carry that, cover those sports like powerlifting and like, golf and what else we missed. We missed some wrestling this year and stuff. So swimming. I mean, we want to be able to cover all that stuff, but we got to have help. We got to have what we call our gurus, people that can plug us the information, can send us information on that kind of stuff so that we can get it out and we can recognize those kids as best we can. And, yeah, I mean, powerlifting was huge this year. I'm upset that we didn't get to cover hardly at all of it. But moving on to baseball, we had a perfect game thrown from Jacksboro's Casey Swan, which is pretty awesome. We'll give him a little clappity clap. That's pretty amazing. And we've had a bunch of girls, or a couple girls, pitch perfect games. They got no hitters going. That's an amazing task. And we would like somehow to recognize that in some way. So we're going to try to come up with that. Baseball, we got baseball games. We got softball games going on. Districts already started for those. You got them heating up. Of course, the 3A district here in our area is really big. Yeah, I mean, there's just a bunch of good games. I think tomorrow I'll be going to the Holiday and Owl Park game at Holiday's new stadium. First game going to be played there.
Nice
I think they're both undefeated in district.
It's going to be, man, that Holiday girls and Owl Park girls, you know, my personal opinion is Jacksboro's the team to beat. No offense to anybody else, but if any teams could do it, it's Holiday and Owl Park. The pitching. I mean, I've seen some stellar girl pitching. I mean, it's amazing. Like once they're on the roll, they're on the roll. I know Jay, they're about to mess with me with my prediction.
We were talking baseball, but he wants to talk softball. It's cool.
Even that. Yeah. Remember last time made a prediction. He became TikTok famous.
Yeah, I was being limited on his predictions because I think he's 0 for 3 or something.
He got us some publicity, though.
I'm
it's all good.
It's okay to get it wrong. Stephen A. don't get it right. You know, he don't get it right.
The fake Stephen A.
I mean, they had to watch. They had to watch to make that clip. They had to watch. They gave some views for that.
Yeah. Hey, it's all fun and games for the most part. You know.
Sir.
But yeah, so I mean, like O just said, I mean, the pitching is crazy. You know, it just seems like it gets better and better every year. I know all the local pitching coaches that put in all the work year round. These kids go to year round pitching. It's not something they go to, you know, when season's about to start. So. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And then the hitting as well.
And that's
I enjoy watching those games.
That's one thing about the game of softball and baseball is good pitching beats good hitting any day of the week. So if you have that stud, and obviously softball, you can roll the same girl out there, you know, because of the natural throwing motion compared to baseball, which is unorthodox. But if you have arms, that can eliminate, you know, the strength and –
all right,
Jay learned something new every day.
I haven't been too talkative, so this doesn't. I didn't know that was a natural throw.
Yeah, that's why softball girls can throw
because your arms come in
day after game after game after game.
Your arm naturally hangs down.
Yeah. Never too old to learn. Never too old to learn.
Yeah, that's
is weird, right?
Yeah,
this is unorthodox, but going underneath you can do all that.
Yeah, you would think it's opposite, but hey.
What do
we also got district track is going to be starting up, I think, next week. And, man, do we got some track athletes in this area. It's crazy.
The video you shared I watched that thing probably 20 times of the Jackson kid from Vernon. I watched that about 20 times.
My gosh.
For him to go get that kid, it was crazy.
And I think he still had something in the tank.
Yeah, because he wasn't gassed. It was like
no, he just looked good doing it like it was nothing, bro. It's like, holy crap. And I mean, this Stroman kid in Holiday or Stroman kids in Holiday, I'm not. I don't really know. I only know of one of them.
Yeah, they're brothers. You know, I wanted to be on the record and say that too. Noah's amazing. His brother is good as well. Sometimes when you have a sibling that's, you know, performing at the rate that he's performing, sometimes what he's doing gets overshadowed. But kudos to their dad with the training that he does with his boys. A very intense workout. He's performing at the level for a reason. You know, I've heard parents like, man, they're up 4:30 in the morning, you know, running, getting his run in before he has to go to school and run. And I was like, you know, that takes dedication, not only for the kid to do it, but that's a commitment as a parent, because that means you're having to roll your butt out of bed and, you know, be there to do those things. I think he's nationally is going to be getting talked about, you know, but the thing is, as he gets talked about, that's just more publicity for this community. That brings more attention. Wow. So we appreciate, Noah, what you're doing for this community and bringing the buzz this area.
Just to piggyback a little bit about his brother, people don't probably, like we said, we don't know or don't talk too much about him, but he probably has just as much to do with it as his brother's success, just because it's hard to get that one kid, get a kid up to go run at 4:30 in the morning. Now I got my brother with me doing it. Maybe my days that I don't want to do it, he's pushing me. So people don't see that stuff in the background, or that is not always in the light.
But the kids know.
But the kids know. If I didn't, I probably wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have my brother doing it with me. Stuff like that. So
and I'm pretty sure he's probably going to compete this weekend in Texas Relays. That's a big deal. City View's 4x1 team actually qualified, and then Emery, Brendan, she's going for high jump. Yeah, which is cool. The Texas Relays is like,
oh yeah, that's a party.
Big deal.
That's the best of the best.
Did y'all hear about the freaking tragic stuff that happened with the Vernon kid and his foot? You remember they had everybody back 4x1. They're 4x1. Didn't they win state last year? And what's the big kid's name that good in basketball? Julius broke his foot testing out doing high jump. They're probably gonna go repeat as 4x1 chance.
So what I hear about is like for example, when you have someone like Noah Stroman, like he doesn't compete in the local I'm assuming he has to compete in the district event here locally.
He
has to compete in regionals, but he doesn't compete like the
there's a kid at Ryder
who
who's a mid to long distance guy, and he goes to different track meets. But obviously, for your UIL, not eligibility, but for you to keep climbing, you got to compete in your district track meets. But there are a lot of track meets, kind of like the Texas Relays, that are open, that teams or individuals compete unattached, and it's pretty
that's
cool
what I can
that,
imagine. He's
that
doing
you
like
can do
the
those.
national stuff
because
normally,
like
and then
stuff going on.
But he's still got to come back. So
Yes.
from what I understand, on April 1st and 3rd, he'll be competing locally.
Yeah, he'll be
for
at
his
the
district.
Yeah,
He'll be
And
at
then
the
he'll have to go to
district
regionals, and then in order to go to state and compete at state.
So
win
he'll
state.
be Monday. He'll be in Owl Park, and Wednesday is in Owl Park because the kid is flat out. It's amazing.
And that Vernon kid, the Jackson kid that we just saw the video, he's going to be there too. So I'm definitely going to try to bring my camera out and get some of that, because I think that'll be pretty sweet.
Did anybody know it split?
They said it was 47-8 or something.
47.
That's moving.
Yep. Holiday also has a sprinter and a girl named Brigham that's in the 100. Oh my God. I'm like, Holiday, y'all doing y'all thing when it comes to track.
And I don't want to start.
You probably can test it, or my bad.
No, you go ahead.
But you probably can test it. They say there's a Bar-Wise kid running like 49 in 400 right now. Michael,
Baxter,
they
little
said
bitty Michael.
Yeah, they said he's running like a 49 in the 400 right now as an 8th grader.
Yeah, I don't know what his time was at the when they ran at the City View track meet, but he's doing it at a high level.
Well, that Stroman kid, his mile was 4:06, which was the fastest high school recorded mile so far this year. The record, I looked it up. Well, the record for high school, I believe, is, and I could be wrong, is 3:56 for a high schooler. The all-time record, let me think what it was. It was 3:43, I think, and that's of everybody like in the world. Like,
but he's running these times, and he's just a sophomore.
Yeah. My
Well,
gosh.
and that was, we talked about this earlier at lunch today. Is Houston Atascocita. They ran a 38.
Those guys.
6'9". And then Duncanville finished second. They broke the national record too, but they finished second at the meet. And it's like these kids are Houston Atascocita are. I found out they were 3 sophomores and 1 freshman. It's like you can only expect them to be bigger, better,
what's
and
their
faster.
team name?
But Atascocita with an A.
Can you say Giannis's last name?
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, track to me, and I don't want to start this debate again, but track to me is it doesn't matter where you at. You fast.
Hold
you
on
fast,
to track, because
you
I think
jump.
we're going to come back to that here in a little bit. Let's go back real quick. We got golf district rounds starting. But real quick, I want to talk about how we teamed up with Impression Screen Printing. The guys over there, Gabe and what's his other name? Jared. We had a meeting with them. They have printed us out some pretty sweet swag shirts, I say. It's like just on the sideline. Then it says the Impression Player of the Game, brought to you by ISP. We have them.
Appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll show them later. But we're going to be trying to go to some games and handing them out to who we think is the player of the game for these different sports and stuff. So be on the lookout for that. I think they're pretty sweet. Also, we have Rockin' MC Signs. He made a couple big signs for us. We haven't been able to put them up, but we're going to have a big sign up here. I don't even know if you guys seen it. I know. Did you see it?
I haven't yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll show you later. But it's a big sign. Then also we got a big banner that he put some really stitched it around for when we go to events and stuff. We can hang it up or go out wherever we're outside or whatever we can put up, and just to let people know that we're there or whatever, So that was pretty cool of him. And then the other thing is just an update on the All-Star game. If you're an athlete that was on our list this year for basketball, make sure you're checking your social media inboxes. We don't really have any other way to reach you guys, so I've been trying to shoot those out through your social medias, and hopefully some of you guys can start committing to that. Again, it's June 8th. It's a Saturday, and is it still going to be at City View?
Yep.
Yeah. So June 8th, Saturday, City View. Keep an eye out in your inboxes. We need to start thinking about confirmations on that so that we can start getting jerseys printed and ordered.
A little bit on that. I got 4 showcase games locked in. I'm trying to keep it as much as 940 if we can. So if you got a traveling team, even if you don't want to play an OWE team or something like that, we can. I want to showcase, like, as we want to showcase the 940. So we want to showcase as many 940 kids possible. So if you got a youth basketball organization or a team that you want to be in this, contact Jeff or contact one of us, and we'll get y'all on there. We want to make sure all the 940 talent basketball wise gets showcased that weekend.
Yeah, so right now that's just our updates. It lasted a little bit longer because we touched on stuff, but that's how it goes sometimes. We're going to take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the couple topics we're going to go over. See you soon. The realtor we trust is Kim Roart, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website, homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they've tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, Yojo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. Give AG a call at 940-782-1194. All right. Welcome back. Thank you to the sponsors. Our first topic for today is going to be
because I think the thing with track is it's like to me personally, I think track complements everything.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of being able to do everything. I mean, it teaches you how to. If you're being taught properly, it teaches you how to run, which equates to every sport. Because I mean, I haven't seen a sport that you don't run. You know what I'm saying?
Golf.
And you run. You run in golf. When you mess up, you got to chase the ball. You run.
You got to go chase that ball. Huh?
I was really thinking, like, at what point do we run in golf?
You really don't want to be running, but you got to get over there and get that ball before you get away.
I think the biggest thing, what O just said, I think the biggest thing O just said was if you're being taught right. Like I feel like anything, if you're gonna do it, I would hope you're getting taught the right way to do it. I don't want anybody out there just to be out there. And that's my whole biggest thing. I have a pretty good athlete as my son, and I didn't let him do junior high track. It wasn't because I didn't think he would get anything out of it.
But he did cross country.
Yeah, he did cross country. He did do that. But like I feel like body wise, trying to get some rest a little bit when we can get some rest. I feel like just like anything we've talked about on this show already, junior high track and junior high sports, it just wasn't being taken serious. So I was like, man, let's figure out a way.
So next year,
next
year is he running track?
No. No. Oh, I don't know. A lot of people don't think I'm very open with allowing my son to do a lot, but I am. I swear I am. It just seems that way. But I really feel like he's a good long distance runner. He's a great long distance runner naturally, just off of all the crazy conditioning that we done from basketball. He's a natural good long distance runner, and I'm not closed to doing it, but I want somebody to actually teach him something that I can't teach you track. I've always kind of let him participate in whatever junior high sports, whether it's football, basketball, because I didn't have to really rely on somebody having to teach them to do the right things. Now, if I can trust somebody out there that's going to teach them some stuff that I don't know, I'm cool with it.
Hey, I know a guy. But yeah, as a coach and myself, I on the high school level, I think, to me, track is very important. O touched on it. It, in my opinion, it helps with everything you do. And to me, the most beneficial thing that you get out of track is I found out, can you compete or not? Are you a competitor? Because when you're on that runway or you're in that lane, it's me versus me. A lot of people think, hey, I'm running against the 7 other people in my lane, or hey, I'm jumping. No, it's you. And I was a long jumper, and I did sprint relay and things like that. But it was more than just going out there and not embarrassed. And I think these kids today are more embarrassed to compete because they're worried about, well, who am I going to look dumb in front of, or what TikTok am I going to be on? And that in the nature of track is competition. And it goes into, I want to be, it doesn't matter where I finish, and that's why I tell the kids all the time, it doesn't matter if you finish first. Now, that's the goal, but we want to put a good time out there.
I think that's the difference between those taking it seriously and those who are just in track.
Yeah.
Because, I'll be honest, my daughter, she just running, bro. I'm asking her, what was your split? She's like, I don't know. I'm asking, okay, what's your PR? I mean, I know her PR, but does she? No, she don't even know it. And so that's, to me, is she wasting her time?
Yeah.
Is that, because like you said, you're competing, you should be competing against yourself, your competitive nature, your own competition within yourself. If I go out there, what's the point in going out there just to run if I'm not going to try to get better? I got to get myself better.
And that was my biggest thing. The reason why my son wanted to run track, it had nothing to do with track. Nothing to do with track.
I've been there. How's she doing?
I'm a testament to myself.
Junior high track, high school
is the
track?
funnest event, sporting event you can ever go to.
Wow.
It's usually during school. It's usually during school, and it's all day.
Yeah.
And every school is there. So the social part of track is why a lot of these kids do it.
Talking about my daughter, she making TikTok videos at track, man. Like you said, what are you going for?
What are we doing?
The social hour, or I did my throw, but how you do? It's I did okay.
I don't know.
So that kind of drives me crazy.
I think even though you're out there, though, you're getting better whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than sitting at the house.
Especially for, I strongly suggest if you call yourself wanting to be a football player, you should be, whether it's throwing, running, you should be a part of the track team. That's one of the things, whether you know it or not, when you're being recruited, that's something that you get asked. Do you run track? The reason I say that is because first off, if it helps you stay in shape. A lot of kids sit around, do one sport, and then they're wondering, the ones that it takes a special kid to train year round. Everybody's not doing that. Let's just be honest. You should, but everybody's not doing that. So being involved, some of those kids being involved in track. I'm not saying do every sport, but I'm a big track advocate. You know, and just because I see the difference that it makes in kids that are football players, basketball players. Every basketball player, just because you're a basketball player, this is the part that I will disagree with. That doesn't mean you're a jumper. And I think that's something that kind of gets thrown. Oh, you're 6'1", 6'2", you should be jumping. That ain't my skill set. You know what I'm saying? I might be a distance runner or whatever, but I think you should try to find your niche. Everybody that's fast in football is not fast on the track either.
Testament here. Know? I was the slowest person on a track. I never got it. Yeah. I remember my last track meet was my freshman year at Sherman in front of a lot of people. I get out there in the 100. Oh, he's a running back. He has to run the 100. But coach, I'm not track fast. Why am I in the 100? Put me in something that I could be like. So I get out there, girls everywhere. Everybody's right there. You know, the 100 is the limelight.
That's the meat.
Everybody's sitting there. Everything stops. I get my slow, and I'm pretty. Like I don't look very appealing in a track uniform. Let's just say that. I get out there and get dusted. Oh yeah, this is the last one. I'm going to the gym. Forget this.
No, I never ran any track. They wanted me to every year do something, but I was the lazy
And I think
kid,
that's what
like,
the competitor in me, or what I say track does is what you brought up. You know, it brings a little humbleness to you. You know what I mean? And with that, you can either rise to the top and say, okay, well, I got dusted pretty good. How am I gonna fix it during the week and get better? Because I coached the relay team all year last year, and my deal was, hey, we just wanna keep getting faster. You know, I don't care where we finish in district. We just got to get the top 4 and keep advancing. That's kind of what we did in regionals. Ended up winning district, getting second or third at regionals, and then was able to go to the area meet. Because to me, it's all about improving, and we got faster over time. We weren't the fastest team, but you know, and that's what, to me, like I said, track brings out the competitiveness. Hey, you got me this week, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to try to get you the next week.
Like Evan just said, that's a great metaphor for life and everything. Like using that, and it's a time. Like forget, block out, like you said, where you're finished and everything. There's a time. Go beat that time. Like,
that's it.
Just by a millisecond. It ain't got to be much. And that's the best thing. That I wish I would have looked at it that way, of just racing that time and just getting a half a second faster. And like if you really go to work and really go, you can get a millisecond faster.
Oh yeah.
Each week you go, or you know what I mean. You can break that.
Unless you're running a 4-minute and 6-second mile, and then you'd be lucky to cut a couple milliseconds off.
And I
think
really,
he can always get better too. You got to think.
No, he's definitely going to get better. I'm just saying
he's running that and not
in
being
comparison
pushed.
to everything else.
Just you got to think, as you get older, you gain stuff in your body.
Stronger.
Knowledge, and that's
get stronger.
The main thing would be knowledge.
And that's one thing seeing cross country. That's why I love that it's part of track. Almost seeing my basketball players run cross country was I loved it. Yeah, I yelled. I was happy to be out there because you got to see them. You look over there. I got a long way to go. I got a long way to go, and I'm already breathing hard, and I'm already tired. How am I going to get to this finish line?
Some of your top basketball programs make it. It's a requirement. You're not even eligible to play varsity. Track? No, you have to run cross country.
Oh, cross country.
If you're not like playing football or something else, and you're in off season basketball, a lot of your top basketball programs make cross country as a requirement.
Which that should be. I mean, that makes sense.
Danny Nix, love you. The only reason why I played football my senior year, because I remember the basketball guys practicing cross country, running across the football field all the way down Preston. And I was like, yep, nah.
I was just about to say that. I mean, in college, my first year in college, and you can attest to this, in college, we'll be up at them 6 a.m. workouts, and there go the basketball team on the track. So that's what you got to look forward to, basketball players.
Yeah, you're going to run.
Well, let's get to the top. I mean, another piece of the topic was about all these small town teams forcing their players to not only do track, but to play all the sports.
Go ahead.
I personally think you can't force anybody to do anything. I mean, I've heard of it being said, but that's where parents got to step up and, speak up. Not confrontational, but we gave birth to these children. We're the ones got to do doctor bills and all of that. I personally think that my opinion is every kid, true athlete, should be at least a two-sport kid.
Combo sport. I seen an article about it, about combo and the right sports, like we said, cross-country, basketball, football, track, baseball, this. You know what I mean? It's great combos where the schedule don't really conflict and you're active pretty much all year by just doing two. You can be active doing two sports a year, like O said. You can be active the whole year by just doing two.
And then and I'll let everybody talk. So this is my take on it. I think when you first get to high school, you're kind of figuring yourself out a little bit on what your niche is. Mm-hmm. But I think the sooner you find out what your niche is, that time that you can put into those specifics, you have to, as a parent, be like, okay, hey, I know you're good at football. I know you're good at basketball. You're great at football. You're okay at basketball, and you're really, really good at track. We probably need to we need to take a back seat on basketball. That's just because the time that you're putting into basketball, you could be in off season getting ready for track. That's where he was saying, like, the combo sports.
Yeah.
Like, it's important. Like, I think kids should do, especially the sucky part is when you have that kid that's freaking great at everything. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to.
You just got to let them go.
You let them go. You let them go. Let me say this: you let them go. But you also have to. I've watched so many kids tear their bodies down before they even get to college because they're real about what they do. They're training all the time. But the one thing that I've learned over the years is, in order to grow, you have to have rest. You can't. Anybody that lifts weights, they will tell you that if you're lifting weights 7 days a week, your muscles don't have a chance to grow. Yeah. So that's the same thing I feel with your body as an athlete, especially as kids that are still growing, still developing. I think do all that stuff, have fun, do it, but you have to make sure as parents that we're finding that happy medium for the rest period.
But I think one thing you got to consider is, like, the kid. I guess I'm kind of just playing like a devil advocate here. Like,
that was what
the
I was
kid. The kid is like, well, I want to play because, my best friend is playing, or he only plays baseball, so I want to play baseball with him, or, this or that. Like, the idea of combo sports is great. Like, I mean, that sounds really good. And then, like, I forgot what I was going to say, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to play because of this, or I want to do this because of this. Like, especially, like, I guess the question would be, like, okay, do we think maybe you come in as a freshman, you're still trying to find your niche, like you're talking about, then, like, sophomore, junior year, you really push into the sports that you really might, if you have that concept or that idea or that goal of going to the next level, like, I'm really going to push those, and then maybe senior year just try to do what you want. I mean, like, obviously you want to push the hardest on the ones that you might be going to the next level on. But
so I'm in that situation right now with my son. He played baseball since he was a kid. Baseball is a sport that he's enjoy, but football and track are sports that he loves. His decision, he was like, Dad, baseball was cool this year, but I'm done with it after this year. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, we'll revisit that. I'm like, he just saying that right now. But he said because the time that I'm missing, like, training for football, that's where he felt, because he wasn't doing high school baseball. Little league baseball is different than once you get to high school. It's more time and things go into it.
I think if he realizes that as the athlete, as the student himself, then you
and that's where I think, like, and I was gonna say, play devil's advocate as a coach. Small school, you don't have many athletes to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, look at Grayson Rigdon. He playing everything.
And so
he probably
a
playing
kid
golf.
like Grayson Rigdon, or a kid like Stroman, is it Stroman? Did I say that correctly? Okay. At Holiday, you kind of looked at me like, what? Who the fuck are you talking
about? I only know him as a runner. I don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I mean,
oh, yeah.
He's a hell of a runner. I don't know what other sports he plays, but, the football coach was like, hey, well, he can do this. Kind of like what I said about Bub. Like, he's 6'5". I would have been, hey, man, I need you to come play receiver over here. Like, you know what I mean? Or
come try it out.
You can be the leg on my 4x4, 4x1. You know what I mean? And so I think from a coach's standpoint, I wouldn't say force, but you're looking at these athletes like, I don't have many to choose from. I need some help.
And you made a good point from I think the size of the school really determines
dictates,
that.
I've heard, of course, nothing I say is guaranteed fact or anything. It's just all over hearsay or a parent coming to me and saying it, like the athletic director or the head coach of this sport says, if you don't do this, you're not doing this. If you don't play volleyball,
I mean,
you
I hear
can't play
stories
basketball,
like that,
or if you don't run track, you're not playing football next year. Or so that sucks. Like to a point, like that's why I say you technically can't force a kid.
Yeah.
But ultimately, those coaches are empowered to the point where they say, if you don't do what I want you to do, you're not starting.
And to piggyback off that real quick is like some coaches, and I've dealt with this. Some coaches get upset if you play another sport.
If you do something else.
Especially when it's during their sport. Like, say, for example, I'm not going to throw out any names, but, like, if you're playing, like, baseball and track, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's a really fast runner, but he's been playing baseball, and so he's not doing his track time. You know, like, those coaches will get upset. Yeah. And I've even seen them, like, place their kids that were, like, say, on varsity last year, place them down on JV.
And that's where, like I don't mean to cut you off,
no,
but
you're good.
Those two sports, and until I got here where I was from, they kind of really just got soccer 2-3 years ago. But soccer and basketball, they intertwine so much. And being here in Wichita Falls, how big soccer is for boys and girls. For instance, Kenji Johnson. Everybody knows what he can do on the football field, but he's a heck of an athlete.
He loves soccer.
He's a hell of a soccer player, and he plays basketball too. So Coach Holly and Coach Castles did a great job this year sharing him. You know, and so he might have missed this practice to play at this soccer game or missed this soccer game to be at this practice, you know. But that all goes to the coach, like you said.
Yeah,
it's sharing. And like I said, Coach Castles, Coach Holly did a great job. But sometimes it's not that way. It's you got to be here or you can't do this.
Yeah. Or you're going to sit out or you're going to do this.
Yeah, and that sucks to put a kid in that type of mind at that young age and you putting it in their head. Yeah, you're not forcing them, but you're telling them, you're not going to start for me next year if you don't do this.
I think it's one of those things too. So at the smaller schools, I think they do a good job of working with each other because
they ain't got much choice.
They don't have a lot. But I would say I use our school as an example. Where I went to school at is Everman. It was overstood if you were an offensive line or defensive lineman that you were doing powerlifting. That was overstood, and the results. It was proven results that the kids that did powerlifting that played in the trenches came back bigger and stronger, and you were ready to do what you needed to do. I think if you're serious about something, you should be able to look at the research and be like, okay, I see why, Coach. But it was overstood. It was like Coach said it one time, and everybody, if you knew you did those.
I think that, sorry to interrupt, but I think that for the most part, they got that kind of under control. Like you said, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you're powerlifting. Like, most football players are in track of doing some kind of track event. Most, you know what I'm saying? Like that basketball players are running cross country. Like, so I think that what it comes down to is like those players, like say my daughter that just kind of does it all for fun, but she ends up being really good at one sport, but she wants to play the other sport and then she gets punted. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that scenario would be.
But my thing is okay. So let me play devil advocate. We are. I know I am. I'm extremely sometimes critical of coaching. They're not doing this for my child. They're not doing this. But when you have a coach that's willing to step forward and say, "Hey, let me be honest with you. You have an opportunity to go to school for this. You're spending your time doing this. You might not want to be doing this anymore." And the kid still goes and do that. Let's just be honest. Like, the coach giving them that, and then this kid goes over here, spend time doing this. Let's say kid gets hurt doing a sport that he had no business doing. It's kids coming into his senior year, scholarships and things like this. I don't think we would do it, but there's a lot of parents that are going to be like, "Oh, the coach didn't do nothing for my child." Well, he tried to do something for your child by telling him, "Don't he need to be doing that?" You know, so
now I'm sure there's a lot of that going on too. You know, but
I honestly think, just because I'm gonna go personal experience, kind of like I wasn't gonna play football my senior year, not only due to just how I felt about it. Like
didn't want to run cross country.
That was a little bit of it, but the reason why it was 2008, 2009, and we were still running the wing tee, and I as a running back, didn't want to do that anymore. like as a running back, and I had fell in love with basketball. We had just went to state my junior year in basketball. I just kind of fell out of love with football. Anybody that knows me, I was better at football than I was basketball. But everybody blamed Coach Nix. Like everybody in Burke, everybody around, when they heard I wasn't playing football, oh, it's Coach Nix. He told them he couldn't play football anymore. And nobody knows at that time, Coach Nix literally telling me, you're going to play football. I don't care. They're not about to burn my house down. And because you're not, he's literally telling, you're going to play football. Me and him didn't talk half that going into my senior summer. Because of that, like I'm running around. I'm not playing football. I'm not going. Don't call me. You're not coming pick me up and taking me to football, Coach. I'm not playing. I'm like we didn't talk probably longer ever in my life. About the whole 2 months of summer, I probably talked to Coach Nix like twice. Because anytime he called me, he was saying, "Oh, you're going to off-season football right now. I'm picking you up and I'm taking you. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with it." Like he would tell me that type of stuff. But like right now, we're in such a tough time for athletes right now. Their competition is doing so much, and it got so much at the disposal. And that's why I told my son this year, let's see what a year. You never had an off season. You've never had a break or a time to really hone in your skills. While you're like, I blame O all the time because he's the one that put the quarterback and stuff in my son, that made my son a quarterback, and it made my life a living hell because. To try to be the top-notch quarterback, like let's just say quarterback, I feel like if you play receiver, it'd been a lot different. If you play only DB, it'd have been a lot different. But try to be a top-of-the-notch quarterback and keep on your skills on a basketball court, it was miserable. And all y'all know how I am with King to the point where it's like I'm always on his. I'm always on him. We got to make sure his throwing mechanics are right. I got to make sure he's learning how to read a defense. Then we just played 10 months of basketball, traveling all over America, traveling all over the U.S., traveling basketball from November or December to August. So like we just went through this grueling travel basketball season. Then I'm training them, doing a little bit 7-on-7 here, a little bit of weight training here, trying to make sure we're getting right. Throwing mechanics and stuff like that. It began to be so much on him and me as a parent. I was like, man, let's see what 1 year just focusing on basketball look like. Let's see how much better you can be at basketball if you don't take those 4 months off while you're playing football. That was the ultimate reason.
But I think also like for the kids too. We're all at a point in time we were all multi-sport athletes. Like. The kids enjoy it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it puts them around a different niche of other kids. And so we all played from small towns, and that to me was my enjoyment as well. Like everybody knows I was a big football player. That was my thing, and I was okay in basketball, but I love basketball season because once again I was a competitor, and same thing getting out there on the track, maybe to see everybody else at the track meet, but just being out there, I think I think that's the reason why, like, it's hard. I knew I wasn't a good basketball player. I wasn't Jay, trust me, but I wanted to be around it because
what makes you think Jay's the best basketball player here?
I don't know. We beat Burke. He probably don't remember.
There's a wall in Burknett. There's a couple pictures.
I had 2 charges I took in one game.
There's a couple banners in Burknett that kind of testify.
But I do think sometimes track can be, it's more of a popularity thing. If we're being honest, some kids participate in it just for the social hours.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you were really good at another sport. If you're really good, like say football, basketball. You just want to show up to the track.
They know who you is, huh?
Because everybody know who you are.
Social media takes a couple pictures.
What are you doing? I'm doing the 300 hurdles. Like, what is that? Like, I'm just going to be there.
I had a talk with King.
I'll be there.
Why do you want? What are you going to run? What event do you really want to run? Because he came to me after basketball, said, "Dad, can I please run track?" I was like, okay, what? Why? Why do you want to run? What event do you want to run? I don't know. So why do you want to be out there, Kingston?
That's what he
said I'm Kingston Gould.
I need some shades too, Dan.
Man.
As parents, that's when we gotta start. We protect them at that point. Like making sure. But ultimately I think, like we were saying, I don't think coaches should force, but I do think like as a coach you should encourage the the kids to make sure that they're participating in the sports that are going to complement their strength. If you know a kid is strong at something, make sure that he has something, because sitting around too much is not good either.
Heck no. I think uncomfortable, like you said, uncomfortable conversations got to happen with kids, parents, and everything else. Like, everybody's not, and that's one thing that I think we all.
Don't get me started on JVs and blacks and gray and white JV team. Like, there needs to be a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team. That just has to be how it needs to be.
Yeah. But just not even on that topic, but just the uncomfortable. Everybody's not trying to go to college. That's what some people. That's what a person said. I think on one of our posts or something like that. Everybody's not in this to make it to the next level. So that I understand that kid that doesn't really want. He's just a decent athlete. Doesn't really want to go in there. But if as a coach, as Evan and all of us have seen that kid and be like, hey, you got some potential. You could do this at the level. Do you want to do it? No, I don't want to do it. Okay, we have that conversation and we kind of move accordingly. If a kid comes to you with the potential to play college basketball, and you see it as a coach, they have the ability, they have the drive, they have the grades, they have everything to go to do that. So I feel like as a coach, that's part of the job. You gotta protect them. You gotta try to put them in the best situations to make that happen. Whatever it is, it may be. Ah, man, I don't think I'm gonna have you.
Oh man, dude, you're
football.
6'2" and like 180 pounds, bro. I don't think you're gonna be very good at football.
Yeah, like just having that. Hold on, 6'2", 180.
No, wait,
very
That's
good.
good for football.
No, my bad. I'm saying like.
Yeah, no, but like
5'2".
5'2".
We've seen it. We've seen
That's what I meant,
all
5'2".
those basketball players go out there. We've heard the football coaches. I've been in that situation. Man, get out here. I need you to play football. I've seen teammates that won't touch anybody in basketball, won't doesn't have lateral quickness at all, and the football coach is begging them to come play football. And I would tell my football coach, like, you don't want him out here. Like this is not the guy.
He's not the guy.
This is not the
He
guy
looks good.
that's gonna come off the edge and tackle anybody.
Yeah.
like I
Come
get
off
it,
the edge
coach,
and
but
two
this is not
touch.
it. This is not it.
But I think every coach is always trying to build their program.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't dog them for
The
it.
good schools, we've had the conversation of the 5As, 6As.
Yeah.
The one luxury that they do have is they have the luxury of your top basketball players only being able to play nothing but basketball. Your football kids, it's very seldom do you see. You have it every now and then, but you don't see a lot of 5-star basketball players also being your 5-star. Actually, they had a kid in Anna that's going to Tulsa. His family's actually from Wichita Falls. Jacob, he's stellar basketball player, stellar football player. He's great at both of them, but he's going to play. He had opportunity at both sports, but he loves. I don't know if he loves football more, but he's going to Tulsa to play football instead of. But it's you run into that every now and then, because I think most kids start to be like, you know what, I feel like I'm a little bit better at this, but I do sometimes feel that I think what I want to see more. This is just a personal thing, and this is for all my basketball kids out there. No slug. If you get to a point where football's been a sport that you've been good at, because most of your true star basketball players were good at football at some point. It's just because they were a kid. That's like the first sport that everybody gets introduced to. Don't wait till it's too late to go from being that not maybe top recruit to being that guy that you can go show up to, just walk on campus and everybody's like, who is that? You know what I'm saying? Because, ultimately I want every kid that wants the desire to go play at the next level to play at the next level. And if you're that football guy, vice versa, that has, there's some football kids out there that's 6'6", 6'7", can show up to a college program and they be like, for basketball, and be like, dude, 6'7", what can he do? You know what I'm saying? Because I've learned real quick that colleges are now giving scholarships off of potential, not what they are capable of doing. Like, especially if you're 6'6", man, looking at you for football, they like, man, you might be sorry right now. but we think we can put the weight on you and turn you into something. So one more thing I was going to say about what Jay was saying about the kids that really don't want to do it. we all got to remember that everything you do in sports is creating memories. Mm-hmm. So you do have those kids that don't want to go to college, but they're here to create the memory. Because how many times do you have memories of when you were in high school and you be like, man,
sports is like the future of life. Like you don't realize it. These kids don't realize it right now, but everything they do in sports leads to something later on in life. And I tell my daughter that and discuss about that all the time. So that's probably the most true statement. I mean, if you break it down, we don't have time to break it down. But learn, yes. Yeah, lessons you learn, teammates you made. I mean, like family. I can honestly,
genuinely say every friend I have, like genuinely person, everybody I've met in this room right now.
Yeah, we're all sports related.
We literally met because of sports. Yeah. Like every friend I really have that I can call, that I need something, that I can call for a conversation. I was built through sports. Like I met you because you had a passion to coach your daughter. I started coaching his daughter, all of his kids. Now, football. Like we all was brought through. Sports is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it brings everything.
Like it brings so many people, different diversities.
It's more powerful than what people realize.
It's just a game to some people, but this is life to a lot of people, and that's one thing. Coach Nix told us, I remember one time we practiced on Martin Luther King Day all the time. He never gave us the day off. No school, that's cool. We're practicing. Yeah. This is what he wanted. Like he used to say that, and he would be genuine about it. Like this was his dream. This is something we have all ethnicities, upbringings. Some people don't got parents. Some people got great parents. Some people. This is all they have. Some people, they're just using it as a letter jacket or a social thing. Yeah. Sports is such a like just brings everyone together from all walks of life that it's more than a game that no matter what they try to tell you.
Talking about sport, the letter jacket real quick. I heard a story of you don't even have to get a Letterman. You get a Letterman and then you can just put all the sports that you ever played, even if you didn't get varsity on.
Yeah, because you know why? That thing, you ever tried to, you probably know.
Oh, you probably
know. Fill up a letter.
Back, yeah.
See how much money you got to pay to buy.
Yeah, that's crazy. But hey, let's talk about potential real quick. Mentioned the word potential. I think one thing that we discussed earlier today, and I think this could be like a new bit that we've tried our hardest to really focus on, our sports here, 940 Sports, which we're going to continue to do. But I also think that being such huge sports fans and everybody that watches our podcast or listens to our podcast are also sports fans of some sort, I think we got to mix in a little bit of like professional sports or current events.
For sure.
So starting today, right now, we're going to start a topic.
Here we go.
And potential.
Let's get
this
ready
is potential.
to
rumble.
Black eyes.
All right. So
foreshadowing his shirt.
Yeah. Hold on. Listen.
And this started this morning with my good friend. My good friend.
This is straight bias.
Steven Scott
There's
Williams.
a lot of Maverick blue going on over here. Before we get started,
so listen, here's the thing, and I want people in the chat to put their answer because this is a hot topic. I mean, this is going around the sports world, but we're bringing it here. Luka Doncic versus
Come on.
Don't see.
SGA.
See how the goalpost move? See how the goalpost move?
Luka, Luka Magic Doncic versus SGA, whoever SGA is. We don't know.
Lucky number 77.
Let's call Oklahoma City.
SGA is. Okay, so the debate is, or the topic for this is, if you started a franchise, if we each started our franchise right now, today, March 25th or whatever, are you taking Luka or are you taking SGA?
One mic. Can we get one mic and who are we designated going first? Because this is
no, we're not gonna all go at the same time.
Okay, I'll go first.
Go, Jay.
While I am a Luka, don't take this as I don't like Luka. I love Luka
because everything you said, go ahead.
So I'm not saying that he's not great. He right now is going to be a top 3 player in a year or two. I think
top 3 player in a year or two.
Y'all really
he's top 3 right now,
please.
Top 3.
Say
right
that,
now.
please.
Name 3 players better than him right now.
What are we?
Scooter.
We talked about this.
You're listening, right?
Embiid, Jokic.
Embiid.
Different position.
Embiid. They're better.
But you're just saying.
No,
you just
okay,
said
all right. You're right. Sorry.
We're just saying better.
Okay, but give me 3 that is going to go before Luka. Like if you're starting a franchise and you're building a team, give me 3 players
There's a
you
lot
would
to
pick.
go into that because if I'm starting a franchise, I might go get somebody that's going to sell tickets before
Luka.
I'm trying to win.
Luka is going to sell every ticket there is.
I'm just saying that goes different into different.
All right, yeah,
categories.
you're right. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you talk.
I'm just saying it goes into different categories. If I'm going strictly off of basketball, I'm going strictly off of basketball and what I would prefer in basketball, like I said in the chat today, I'm going with SGA. Why? Because he's going to win
over Luka.
Oh yeah, I would go SGA over Luka. 1, defensive end, the stats, and he's winning at such like we said everybody says he has a better team.
He does.
There's one projected guy. There's one projected guy that was a top pick.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just
Giddey
happened
just
to get
because
on
they
that
were a
guy.
projected
Giddey
pick.
was not why
I'm not
they're
talking about
playing so
projected
good.
shit. I'm
We've
talking
seen
about how
it
they're
so
playing
much.
right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
We've seen it so much. Why are they playing so good?
Not because of him.
We don't have anything to go after.
He's not a distributor like that.
How not?
He's not a distributor.
But he
like
allows everybody else being a distributor, not just passing the ball and assist.
I
Being
get
a
that for it.
distributor, I can go.
I can set my teammates up.
I can let
get us
this
going.
guy. I can let this guy bring the ball. I can play so many different roles. That's being a distributor of the offense. Yeah, he's not always Lucas plays the game in a style that we haven't seen that can win it all yet. He has the James Harden. That type of era of style. That's the style.
You didn't see
He plays out ball.
2 years ago,
just
3
like
years ago,
James-
whenever he took his team of basically nobodies to.
So you just contradicted
say
yourself. Technically
it, please.
nobodies. What is SGA playing with? Technically nobody's
They're
other
not
than
nobody.
Shai.
All I
They're
know
not
is
nobodies.
Okay,
You
so
didn't know
take
who Giddey was
take
coming out
so
of the
take
draft.
SGA off.
let me say this real quick.
I'm talking about,
Jalen
but I'm talking about right now how they're playing.
Let
Like
me say
they're
this.
good team. You take SGA. Like okay,
Can
go
we-
ahead because
can-
I know he's
can
about
we-
to say
let's
what I'm
go.
about to say.
Can we say that OKC is the modern day Golden State Warriors?
No.
Yes, they are. All those dudes were drafted players. Draymond Green, Clay, all of
you're
those
talking
dudes.
about in that sense, yeah.
Like how they're being built.
Nobody knew who those guys were.
You knew who Draymond Green was a college All-American.
But I'm saying, but you didn't expect them to be performing at the level.
Klay
But
Thompson was a lottery
I'll
pick.
disagree because where they got drafted, Chet Holmgren's the only high lottery pick.
Other than SGA.
But I'm saying they built their team through the draft. Yes or no? They wasn't
True. I
trading.
mean, in that sense, yeah.
It wasn't
that's
built
what-
like that.
So, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, in Golden State got on the road. Everybody was like, "What in the world is going on?" Because Steph was not Steph.
Oh, come on, don't say that.
He was
say
injured.
that.
I can't
Don't
No,
say
no,
that.
I'm talking about injury wise. When he got in the league, he stayed hurt.
But he
hurt
was
2
he
years,
was
but he was
he
Steph
was
made his
he was
name.
shooting.
But he wasn't
I
doing
can't
what
diss
Steph.
no Steph Curry.
No,
I
I'm
can't
not
say
dissing
nothing
him.
about
But
that.
can we say Steph's first 3 years he was doing what Steph started doing?
Well,
when
I
they
mean, but
started winning?
to me that grows with the
that didn't have
game.
nothing. That injury, we can't say injuries.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But he was a
SGA
player. He had his name.
So my thing is the comparison is what I'm saying is SGA, because I'm throwing a little nugget at y'all talking about Steph Curry and discrediting KD earlier, talking about this. So what I was saying is pretty much what I'm saying. SGA is basically, other than him getting hurt or whatever, he's the Curry of that team.
Okay, gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? He's the Curry of that team. So they're built like Golden State. For years, and the reason I'm saying this is because for years I let people disrespect my boy Dirk. People disrespected
greatest
Dirk,
power forward
but
in
I'm
ever
saying
played.
that they disrespected Dirk by saying that he wasn't this, he couldn't do this. Luka's doing the same thing on that team with less, because Kyrie's on that team. Yes, we know how great Kyrie is, but the thing is, Luka was doing this before he even got Kyrie.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and he's doing it at an even higher level since he got Kyrie. So Luka went from being just. So my thing is, they said he would never be able to play with Kyrie because Kyrie, they wouldn't play. A lot of people
Yeah,
said
that
took him
did.
years. That took him
I'm
years.
just saying, I'm not that.
Yeah.
No, this is
I'm
what
not
it boils
I'm
down
not
to
on
for
that
me. For
boat.
me, this is where it boils down, and we talked about this, was if you take SGA off,
They're not a playoff team.
they're not? You don't think they're making the playoffs?
I guarantee you right now in Vegas, if Dallas and Oklahoma City are playing each other in the playoffs, the money would be on Dallas. Dallas
would
at
be on
6.
Dallas.
That's
And
where
that
my
showed,
money would be.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's who
Because
that's
you
who
got
showed
two
you.
And they would
you
win.
got two proven guys.
That who showed
that
you
do
who's
it
the
in
better
playoffs.
team. Yeah,
No,
and
they're not picking it based off of the team. They're picking it off of Luka Doncic.
they Luka and Kyrie.
Magic.
Take Luka off that team. Kyrie still has those guys in the playoffs.
No way, dude.
I'm not gonna go that far, but you gotta think they did play better when it was just Kyrie. They played really. They
did have a good.
Damn good.
They had a good 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, when Luka was
they had
down,
a good like
Kyrie
5-1 and 6 game span or something like that.
No, they went 2-4.
To say Kyrie wouldn't have the Mavs top 10 is.
They're not top 10. They're not top 10
without
right
Luka,
now.
you don't
I mean,
think
not
they're
in the
top 10?
league.
No.
What my whole thing is, I'm not saying SGA is just clear cut better than Luka. I'm saying I would prefer his style, and I feel like you can build more around him with players like such ball dominant players like what Luka is, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have to have a very particular type of player around him. You have to have dudes that's willing to sit in the corner and be ready to shoot a three. You have to have a rim running big.
As they're slowly finding that. I mean, they have that found out,
Which
but they're
to me what
slowly getting
the Mavs are
better.
You have
building.
to have the rim running big, like they got 2 of them now.
Yes.
You have to have a really particular team with SGA and the way he scores the ball, and it's just different. It's more like
Who's the better scorer?
Luka's probably the best
all know
offensive
that.
weapon.
Yeah, but I think
Luka's the best offensive weapon in the league right now.
Okay,
Like,
get that on the record. Say that one more time.
Luka is the best offensive weapon in the league right now.
All right, that's not like
I'm not, but now we talk about the better player.
Yeah.
He is one of the
better
worst
player.
on-ball defenders in the league.
He's got better this year.
Playoffs. He got better. Great, but teams are still going to go at it.
They still
they
seek
still,
Luka out for matches.
and playoffs is going to be a lot different than a regular season, in my opinion.
He's a bad defender. Let's just say
On ball
that.
defender,
He's
I think we can all. I mean, he's not elite.
Yeah, he's a bad.
Statistically, he's gotten better every
But
year.
this
I think.
Mavs team is built, as you were saying, they're built to me like the James Harden Houston team.
Yes.
It
it's the same
is
type
ball
of way.
dominant.
It's
Luka had the ball.
it's the
Kyrie,
same
it's your
style.
turn.
But that's what I'm saying. He's not like that. He doesn't even bring the ball up like that.
But I'm saying, look at the moves.
They have Exum bringing the ball up a lot now. They have Hardaway bringing it up. Now they run
What's
the
his
offense
usage?
through
I don't know.
him.
I guarantee he's still top 3 usage rate.
Yeah, they run the offense through him. They're supposed to.
But
He's the GOAT.
that's what the GOAT is crazy. Come on, don't do that.
He's
the
the GOAT.
Hey, I'm
is
with you, bro.
crazy.
I'm with you.
But my thing is that like it's very particular.
Yes.
You have to have a very and I feel
He's a
why
baby
do you-
goat.
This is a big thing that I think why Kyrie plays so well. Who's the best Kyrie years? Alongside LeBron, alongside Luka, because they play so much alike, and Kyrie can play
And it's
that role.
I mean, they're
very,
two of the
very
top.
well.
I mean, they're the best. I mean, not the best, but they're 2 of the top scorers in the
but
league.
it's
They
just
want
how-
to score, they
it's
go
just
score.
how you
It's like,
think-
hey, you want the ball? Go score. I'll take the ball next time.
Yeah, but my thing is like the different types of scores, the different
Yes.
styles of playing. Like I feel that's why I put Luka and James Harden in the same like boat styles wise because it's a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
If you
I don't
James
like
Harden
it. I
has
don't like
zero
it.
deep. I don't like him in the same category.
I would do the Bron versus James Harden.
But see, and
they were
that
a
to
lot
me is
alike.
like what you were saying. That Kyrie has fit better with Bron and with Luka.
Another
Why didn't
superstar.
Brooklyn work? Because KD's a give me the ball and get out the way. Mid range. I'm gonna fill that up. Where I just think, in my opinion, I'm gonna take SGA. I like him as a complete player. But like I said, this goalpost can move either way.
And I'm gonna say Luka is the best. Like I said, the best explosive, best offensive weapon in the league right now.
From a business standpoint, what sells tickets?
Luka offense.
No.
Why?
All right.
Why you think the league is where it is? Why you think everybody?
I just wanna
Why
say
you think
we-
the old head says the league is so bad?
But I think he's just saying like his mindset is, and this all just comes down to everybody's different
it's
mindset.
opinion.
In opinion, Jay says it'd be easier to build a team around SGA, which makes sense. We like Luka because he's so explosive. He's
He
gonna
is the
bring.
system,
He's
like
gonna
James
bring the
Harden said.
team.
I'm thinking
I don't
that-
like the James Harden comparison because I don't like James Harden. But
that's him.
okay, so
He's
let's.
better for sure.
Yeah,
So
he's
Luka's the better player. Can we agree on that?
I would say yeah.
Yeah,
I
better
like-
player.
better
Yeah,
player,
I feel like
So then,
you can take.
let's alleyway into MVP talk then, because we was discussing that too.
that
So
doesn't always go to the best player.
Yeah.
It almost never goes to the best player.
but who's your
Steve
MVP right
Nash
now?
averaged 13 and 9 and won the MVP over Kobe, who averaged 35 and 6.
He's still sour about that one.
very.
I don't understand how he got it either. I
I
don't-
like
Dirk
if-
should have got it.
You want to
then.
know how? You want
It
to
was
know
the
why
next
he
year
won?
Dirk should have got it. The
You wanna
first
know
year
why?
in the back-to-back.
Because the Suns are number 1 seed.
Yeah, exactly.
Best record.
Who
Best
won?
record. Best player on the best team.
The best player on the best. And then,
But that's not even SGA though.
Then do you know who freaking votes on the MVP? in the NBA? The damn media. Like the damn like it has nothing to do with coaches, players.
To me, MVP
nothing.
needs to be about. I watched. It's probably about a month ago on TNT. Shaq said this. It was very powerful what he said because Shaq said he doesn't agree with how the MVP is selected. He said the reason why he said it shouldn't be based off of your team's record because it's an individual award. Yeah. You're the most valuable player.
It's so dumb. I hate it.
Team.
It's stupid.
So I think, honestly, he wasn't. If it was out of Luka and SGA, I'm picking Luka just because I feel like he's more valuable to his team.
He is the.
But I think
I'm the same way.
But I think the person that's that really gets overlooked in the award this year for what he's doing his team because I think his team's doing so good is Tatum.
Yeah.
I think he gets overlooked in this award too, the conversation. But
and I feel like exactly if they changed the goalpost so much.
Yes.
Because there for a minute, 10 years in a row, LeBron should have got it.
Everybody
don't
they
like
were
LeBron.
just sick of LeBron.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think.
I'm not even a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
And I say there's about 10 years
I
in a
agree.
row that he
should have won it. He should have won it every year.
Yeah.
But it is boring to get.
And they changed the
same
goalpost
person.
so much. It's so they can't change it all the time because then I brought up the Kobe situation. Kobe brought those bums to the playoffs and averaged 35 and he didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then you come back around and Westbrook gets it because of just straight off the statisticals. Yeah. He was the AC and they made the playoffs and he averaged triple-double. He got it. So they change it so much. It sucks.
I know. And
who do y'all think?
Because
we kind of brought this up. I have an idea who this is, but who do you think is the most valuable player
in the
league right now?
Yeah.
Jokic. I think just because if you go, I think Jokic because he can affect the game so many different ways.
I like Jokic, but man, I watched when the Mavs played Denver the other day, and they have got some straight ballers on that team, dude. And I think
that's a hard question.
If I don't say Luka, and mine obviously is a little biased because I'm such a big Luka fan, but he's up there for sure. Yeah. But Jokic, I think that the reason why Denver plays so good and those guys are so good is because they go through Jokic. That dude touches the ball 95% of the time, every time and the reason Aaron Gordon gets those little scores is because he's right there in the middle and he's going to get you the ball.
Throw a lob. He makes passes on time. It don't even have to be a six.
He's such a good player.
And instead of dribbling the ball up.
And
I'll bring up three guys. Jokic was one. Embiid was the other. But to me, this year, I thought just watching these guys, Curry, to me is the MVP because Golden State looks terrible when he's not playing.
Yeah.
You said the league.
I just think
I'm saying. I'm not talking about the MVP.
Valuable.
I'm talking about most valuable to his team.
Most valuable to your team, yeah.
Because
he's up there
I just think
for
they
sure.
built that system around him so much, it looks like crap.
Because Clay's in his head.
Dude, that place is going down anyways. Yeah. I mean, they got Clay wanting out. Their coach is leaving after this year. But you can never go against Steph Curry.
I just think
because of Steph Curry.
Steph is the system.
Yeah.
So when the thing that makes the system goes not there, it's going to look even worse.
And you can say the same thing with the Mavs and Luka because that's how it was until we got Kyrie. Yeah. Now it's taking them a little bit of time. They're realizing, like you said, the two rim runners. We got to have rim runners. We got to have those accurate shooters. We got to have the 3-and-D guys. Defenders. We got to have
they went and got all those defenders at the trade line.
That was huge for us.
You got to find a way to hide him.
But you know, the one thing I was sitting here thinking about, man. I know we were saying we had got tired of LeBron. I think I done got tired of Steph, bro. I love him to death, but this dude is he won't go away.
And
he's so good,
it's so crazy.
He won't.
Because it's kind of like what I posted today.
I guess you never lose your shot.
You remember when we post my Facebook post today about arrogance and confidence and stuff like that. I think he makes it worse because he has the most to be the least athletic person on the floor half the time. He has the most antics out of anybody. Every shot he really
athletic. You want to talk about athletic? Look at Luka. That dude looks like he is straight drinking beer after the game.
He's just a showman. Steph gets on your nerves when he's not on the team because every shot, it don't care if it's first quarter, First quarter, he makes a 3 and he's shimmying in the first quarter.
He falls down on the ground.
Like, bro, what?
You be ready to fight.
Yeah. He's like, somebody.
And can't do nothing because he going to make about 10 of them.
Man, somebody tripped this little 6'3".
Curry, he's a guy that, you know, the GOAT conversation, you know, I'm messing around with Luka, you know, but I think sometimes when you consider people for the conversation, you know, Curry is, to me, is a guy that could be in the conversation because he changed
the
game on a level where
he changed
it
for the worst for the dang high school teams, man.
I don't think so, man. Your light just went out. But I feel like
shut down.
I feel like
Shut it down.
I feel like it changed in a good way.
Yeah,
because some years ago it was more about go get the biggest athlete you can go get. If you can't dunk, if you can't run, if you can't jump, you can't play in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's such a skill. Like everybody say, it's such a skillful game now. It gives hope to kids that are not 6'6" and can't jump out.
And do you think like Curry and what Golden State did made the game better for the Europeans, like a Luka?
Yeah,
you know,
because
because
the game,
or Jokic, because now the space now
it made
playing
it
in
less a
space.
physical game.
Yes,
it makes it less physical because now Europeans, what European is jumping out of the gym other than Giannis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that the 3-pointers, the big man being able to dribble up the floor, it made it a skill game.
They're saying that the Europeans are better scorers.
Heck no.
Because of the fact that in Europe, they don't have defensive 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So they can stay down there in the key all day long.
The one thing,
and that's why you got Luka, who can do the fakes and the this and control his body and slow his body down and all that, because he's used to going to the rim with somebody there.
Well, that's how it is all the ways up in the college. That's why I say it's not a European thing. I think the biggest thing in a European thing, I got one of my best friends, Desmond Strickland, has been coaching and living over there for about almost a decade now. The biggest thing is they play with a shot clock their whole lives. Like almost like they get in club sports, you're playing with a shot clock. So what do you have to do in a shot clock? You have to play fast. There's not the stall ball game you got over here where your skills can just be keep away and stuff like that. You got to learn how to score the ball and score the ball quick.
It's crazy that y'all said that. I was just reading today. One of my friends was talking about it on his Facebook page, that he feels that the international, he's an AAU coach, been doing it for a while. He feels like the international system is way ahead of what we have for AAU. And he said the reason he's saying it is because kids are getting to go pro quicker. They're getting exposed to more things. And you're starting to see it trickle down into the scholarships, where you're seeing more kids that are coming in internationally going to these schools.
Well, they're saying the big reason for that is because kids over here, AAU teams, they're doing like less practice and more games. And in Europe, they're saying it's 5-6 practices to one game. Over here, it's 5-6 games to one practice.
But it's a club, though. That's the biggest thing. It's a different system all around. If a kid is good in basketball, unlike us, they're not sitting in chemistry class for 8. Like, they're not going to school for 8 hours a day. They go to school for a couple. That's why if you go take our Mount Verds, IMGs, and stuff like that are made for sports. They're made for sports. Luka was a pro at what? 13?
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I wonder how many times he had to sit in the classroom for 8 hours.
Yeah,
probably never. Like, you know what I mean? So you're gonna get educated to the best ability. Make sure you're not a dumb.
They take education more serious.
Then you're gonna train, and then you're gonna do this, and you're gonna make you a pro at 13 instead of waiting to go like kind of like what LeVar Ball did with
not only a pro but a good pro.
Yeah, like. Look at LeVar Ball
like
with
a baby goat.
LaMelo.
And LaMelo ended up being the better of the two.
Yeah, because they didn't,
the route he took.
He got to be a pro early. He came back in with the high school.
Yeah.
But he went to basically in the private schools.
Is the other one in the NBA still?
No,
he didn't make it out of college.
He's a model now.
No, I'm talking about the one that made it to
the
NBA.
Lonzo, he
just came back to the Bulls.
He's coming
He's
back.
talking about the other one.
Yeah.
You're talking
No,
about.
I'm talking about Lonzo. Is he still in the league?
He just got
Lonzo
cleared
coming back. Yeah.
to come back.
He just got released from
He ain't no good though. He ain't no Luka.
Did you not see? Did you not see Stephen A. killing him about not being able to stand up? And so they said his knees were so bad he couldn't go anywhere where stairs were.
That's like, what's his name on your team?
Oh,
Golly, man. I love that kid, man. I love watching him play, but
I had to
golly,
load
feel bad
manage
for
it.
him.
I load managed him last year.
Greg
because-
Popovich at the
It's really
AAU
good.
level.
Oh, a testament to what we're talking about, looking out for kids. Kid didn't play a sport this year, and he looks like a totally different kid just because his being dads are here. We're training all the time. He never had rest. He finally took a football season off this year, and now he looks like a totally different kid. Athletic, knees aren't as bad, stuff like that. It's just like O said, you can't grow and get better and all that
You
if you
gotta
don't
have
ever
rest, man.
rest. If you don't ever
that's
rest,
huge.
and
But hey, man, we could go all night. And we were talking about this during the break, but next time we might just put one word, like our topic, just one word, and then just go
Just
for
run with it.
45 minutes. Because we definitely got to do that because that's some of the best stuff we can get. But we appreciate you guys watching the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We got more stuff coming. We're going to be looking to get some more athletes in here, maybe some coaches. So stick around. I know the schedule hasn't been very what do you say, that routine, like the schedule for the podcast, but we are posting it, we're sharing it. So just try to stick with us until, we all got lives. We all got things going on. We still have a bunch of kids in sports. So just stick with us, bear with us. And we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
peace.